The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to listen to Earnestly Speaking podcast. I'm your host, Ernest E.J. Christian, coming to you on a very nice Monday afternoon here in South Florida. Of course, the podcast you can find on iTunes, on Stitcher Radio, Google Play, Spotify, and now iHeartRadio. Of course, on the line every week. We do this during the football season, although the season is coming very vastly to a close. We're now approaching Church weekend. Of course, Kyle FNS, through the Game Report, is here. Kyle, what's up, man?
Hey, man, what's going on? Listen, we've been over this. I can speak to more than football. I've often schooled many people in basketball, and even once or twice, you yourself. So let's do this.
Don't spread fake news. I know. Okay, but
no,
we do.
Happened.
No. Like, well, the thing is, we do talk. And last year we did on this podcast. We actually did have like a lot of conversations on the show outside the season, of course. A lot of good topics and stuff. There'll be a lot to talk about anyway in the coming months. You still got free agency. You still got, if there's any big time cuts and any players get released from teams that are notable players. You got the draft coming up still, of course. You got TV shows, Game of Thrones coming soon. So we got a lot on the plate, you and I. So the story report will still live, beyond the 2018-2019 season. So.
Not only will survive, it will thrive. Recognize facts.
Yeah, in fact, some of those shows we did over the summer was really cool. I actually enjoyed some of those shows we did. And there was a couple episodes that had nothing to do with football.
And you know what? That's what's up.
That's what's up.
Oh my God, man! Let's get to those games, man. Shoot.
Let's get this game. I'll be honest with you. This weekend, I was so excited about this weekend and all the games, and then all of a sudden, couple of times, the first game I watched in its entirety, of course, because no interruptions. Chiefs and Colts. The second game with Dallas and Rams, I watched most of the game too, but then I had to put the kid to sleep, and so I had to queue up my phone to make sure that I was still watching what's going on. And then I have this habit now. This is how you know you're getting old, Kyle, is that I'll put my kid to sleep at night, and then I start falling asleep with him, regardless of what's on TV. So I had to catch myself a couple times during the Cowboys game. Hey, wake up! Playoff football salon.
Well, and granted, playoff football on Saturday nights. I mean, goodness gracious, it must be tough for you and your old parent self. I'm older than you. How is this not a problem for me? Anyway,
what by a year? I mean, I'll be 39 in May.
You are old. No, I mean what?
You are old. Yeah, correction. You are old because you cracked 40. Didn't you already crack 40? Yeah.
Wow, look at you stealing time from me. No, I haven't cracked 40 yet.
Really?
Good God, man.
You're 39 though, right?
Yeah. Stop trying to rub it in.
You're cracking 40 this year though, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Stop rubbing it in.
Yeah.
Stealing time from me and stuff.
Suck on that, boy.
Anyways.
Moving on, as you say, moving on. Colts, Chiefs. Really impressed with the Chiefs defense in that game.
Yeah. So let's be honest. This is a team that was giving up 26 first downs a game and gave up their first one with 2 minutes left in the second half or something stupid like that. I mean, come on, man. Where was his defense the entire year, okay? I have no idea what it is. Maybe these people that want to try to tell me that the Colts line is, sliced bread need to slow their roll. Listen, Quentin Nelson's great, but Andrew Luck was in trouble on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. I don't give a darn if he's a captain of whatever regiment, okay? His sidearm was surely subdued. And I mean, Marlon Mack's adorable as a second option, but he ain't that good. And when you're down that big, you're in trouble. Really, everybody expected the game closer than this because of the Chiefs' propensity to not play defense. And something happened to make that go completely away. I don't know if they were able to game plan the Colts specifically, or there was a strategy changed more universally on their part. But I'll tell you what, I at least expected a shootout in this game, and I'm sure people will expect a shootout come Conference Championship Sunday. You may not get that if this defense comes out like this.
Yeah, I'm with you 100% there. It's funny because I think the Chiefs' defense, and I think the Chiefs in general, just got tired of hearing all the negative all throughout the year about, yeah, they're good, they're a really, really good team. They may go to the Super Bowl, but that defense might be the reason they don't get there. And I think that might have actually resonated in the locker room because from the word go, they were flying on the ball.
Yeah, I can't put it any better than that myself. I don't feel like it was a situation, where the Colts offense was slow in particular.
Mm-hmm.
I just, it's slow to develop or any of that. But let's be honest, the Colts had a few opportunities too that were left on the field. A fumble of a special teams play,
mm-hmm.
2 missed kicks by Vinatieri,
which is very unlike Vinatieri.
What's that?
Very unlike him to miss kicks. I was surprised. I mean, the field goal he missed at the end of the first half was a chip shot.
Right, yeah. I mean, listen, it's one thing if he misses a 40 or 50-yarder. Contrary to popular belief, Vinatieri's leg is not strong, but he's retained for his pure automatic delivery, automatic until, this past weekend. And listen, not for nothing, his beard sucks. He needs to shave that. But listen, I don't know what that was, but those 6 points would have been useful in that contest. But that all being said, credit to the Chiefs defense for doing the job.
Yeah, absolutely. They did a great job. Mahomes, solid game, of course. They did their job. And I tell you what, after this game, and the way they responded, I mean, you obviously, as a Chiefs fan, want to hope they don't let down. But I feel better about their chances now getting Super Bowl than I did before the game. Like I felt not that I felt bad about it. I just felt like that defense. I don't know. But now, if we're seeing this next week, the Pats are in trouble.
Well, and I'm going to use this opportunity to transition into the Charger game, too. Listen, the Pats dominated the Chargers, and I know you want to give props to your boy Thomas Edward Bieber Brady, and I'm not here to tell you he did bad by any stretch, but can we be honest? Could the Chargers have come out with a worse game plan? Okay? Listen, if you didn't know by now that Belichick and the Patriots were going to come out with quick passes, screens, and their run game to neutralize Bosa and Ingram on the edges, why are you there? Okay? I remember the coach of the Chargers saying that he was happy to be in San Diego. Apparently, he was still there this weekend because that game plan was non-existent. All they did was wait for the Patriots on defense in a zone. How big of a dope are you? Okay, fine. So you might get by a couple of long balls, playing man defense on what's going to be short, quick throws constantly from Brady. And you might get a few big runs broken off by Sonny Michel. But if you die by 1,000 cuts, at least you would have gotten crushed by the vast differential you had in that game score.
I gotta be honest with you, though. I'm not totally shocked what happened in this game, in the Pats and Chargers game. Because, and I'm not trying to sit here and blow smoke off the Pats' ass right now and Brady. Well, now, I love Brady, obviously. But, the Patriots are the most prepared team probably ever seen in sports.
Oh, sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Now starting to come to my side of the fence. It's
right.
Belichick's the reason for their success more than Pretty Boy.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is the same team. Whether or not we agree or disagree, they cheated or stretched the rules throughout the years. I mean, obviously, we have the conversation. We have the conversation, and I'm with you. By the way, I agree with you. They do that. I'm not denying that. But that being said, there is something to be said about a franchise that takes B or lower level players and somehow get them to play situational football in such a top level that no matter who they have, they seem to always have those guys ready to play every Sunday, especially in January. And I'm not surprised. Look, I thought the game would be a little closer than this. I had the Pats covering the 4 points anyway, mainly because of what I just said, the preparation in general. But I mean, wow. I mean, that just drove the point home, to be honest with you. That game yesterday.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, well, I said coaching fail, right? It's simple to say that Belichick outcoached the opposition. Next question.
Pretty much. I gotta ask you this: is this it's funny we kind of segued to the Pats game without even closing out the Chiefs game, but let me ask you this with the Chiefs and Chargers game real quick: was this and is this Philip Rivers' last chance at getting a ring? Because I tend to lean yes, because take the temperature of the AFC right now. You got the Colts are coming, the Texans are good, the Pats will probably still be good for another year at least, most likely. I mean, depending on how things fall. I mean, unless our prediction of Belichick, retiring or leaving at the end of the year does fall through. You got a lot of different things on the AFC that I don't think the Chargers can compete with moving forward. I mean, they'll be in the mix, but to go to the Super Bowl at this point, this is his best chance to go, and I think it's over now.
Well, let me put it to you this way: is when it comes to the Chargers at this point, if they're going to take a Super Bowl shot, they're going to have to do it by way of a road warrior playoff run. Why do I say that? They're not going to do better than the Chargers record-wise. I just don't feel that's possible or plausible. And it's going to be kind of like the Jaguars from the early 2000s when Peyton Manning was still in the AFC South as a member of the Colts. Okay. Right. Constantly, it felt like the Jags were in the fifth seed in the playoffs, with either, David Garrard or sooner than that, a little bit of a Byron Leftwich action to say all that to say they couldn't get any better than a fifth seed because they're stuck in there with the Chiefs. And listen, why I've said many times I don't believe Mahomes is the MVP. He's certainly an offensive player of the year, and he's certainly a fantastic quarterback based on what we've seen so far, even though he technically didn't throw a touchdown pass in that game.
That's true. I think the window's closed for the Chargers, for Philip Rivers, really, be honest with you. And it's sad to say because I was rooting for the Chargers to win the whole thing because of that fact.
I picked them.
Well, I know you did. Yeah. I think you and I believe G Stilio did too also, if I'm mistaken.
I don't know.
I think G did also.
Back on so many of my picks, it's hard for me to believe he agreed with me on something. But I digress.
And I know it's kind of shocking, right? Did you hear our podcast from last week Thursday? Me, him, and Roz.
I have not yet.
It's pretty good stuff.
But I know you were shooting the shiz. Yes,
shooting the shiz. Yeah, it was pretty good. That's pretty good stuff. The window's closed. I mean, the Patriots obviously will know as weeks go on whether the season ends this week or Super Bowl weekend. We'll speculate on their future moving forward because I mean, right now they're playing for now at this point. With Brady being 41 years old. What we saw on Saturday with the Colts and the Chiefs is basically this is the future of the AFC. Those two teams, those two quarterbacks, this is the future of the AFC. I mean, really, if you think about it. And I think Indy should be proud of how their season went. Because remember, we came to the year not even knowing if Andrew Luck would be the same quarterback. Like we all
I had actually written that I had actually written on
Dolphins
Wire that the Week 12 game would have been a good shot for the Dolphins to win because Andrew Luck would be hurt by then. And I was wrong.
And the thing is, even when they came in the year, we were talking about Andrew Luck's health. So all we were saying was, look, this is a rebuilding year. If they go 8-8, I was saying this. If they go 8-8, 7-9, whatever, that's a success for the Colts based on everything that's gone around them. Build the right way, clear cap room, all that. Get draft picks, all that. They go 1-5 start the year. And look, the 1-5 at the time, but Luck was impressive. But we figure, okay, well, it's still rebuilding year, 1-5, they can't come from the hole. They not only got out of the hole, they go 10-6, make the playoffs, win a playoff game. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a Colts fan, you got to be encouraged moving forward. I mean, their new GM's doing very well there. If I'm a Colts fan, I'm not saying going to be the next dynasty, but dude, I mean, this is the future. Chiefs, Colts, this is the future of the AFC going forward.
It could be. I mean, and again, this is assuming no quarterback injury in either place. We got to be careful saying the future with Andrew Luck because I'm not sure how much longer his career is going to last. This is a guy who's battled through more than one injury. But that being said, the fact that they're actually getting some sort of protection in there, they need to not get cocky with Quentin Nelson. They need to build up just a bit more. Give me some tackles that are good in that roster, and then we'll work from there. I know they have Costanzo, and he's never done it for me. But yeah. It's very interesting that you mentioned them as the future of the AFC. It's hard to argue that on its surface, but I'm also inclined to insert the Texans as a possibility.
Oh yeah, they're right there too. They're right there also too.
Depending entirely, however, on how they draft.
That line needs a lot of work, though. We discussed it last week in the podcast. It needs a lot of work for Watson to survive.
Agreed.
Because how they went 11-5. While also getting the most sacks in the league this year, and Watson, a quarterback who already had any injury.
Well,
look. I mean, it wasn't because of the line, obviously. It was a practice, obviously, and non-contact. But still, just the idea of him getting hurt again because our line's not really doing well. I mean, take a page of the Colts playbook. Protect the quarterback at all costs, please.
Hey, by the way, there, EJ, there's another young quarterback who got sacked a lot and still took their team to the playoffs. One Andrew Luck in the Colts. Hello.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, Andrew Luck's the man.
2011 called. He said you forgot something. Anyway.
Are we? We can go ahead and say Andrew Luck's elite still. He's still elite. Yeah.
He never stopped being elite.
Thank you.
The only reason why he stopped being elite is because people were stupid. I said it.
Yeah. Because you and I are in the same boat with Andrew Luck. Everybody on this podcast, I don't know. I don't know. He still got picks. Please, his team stunk. Ryan Grigson is probably probably the worst general manager in history of football.
Well, I mean, we're going to talk about a player with success and a lot of picks. It's hard to have anybody criticize that in your shoes, right, Giants fan? And I ain't even gotten to the Packers fans out there who want to try to sell me Brett Favre as the GOAT. Please.
Uh-oh. Let's do it. Yeah, you and I. It's funny. You and I may disagree on a lot of things, but we agree on the Brett Favre thing. You and I on the same page and we hold hands there on the Brett Favre thing. We lock in on.
Oh, he's not even one of the top 2 quarterbacks in the franchise's history.
I actually agree with that.
Wow, you put Bart Starr ahead of him. Okay.
Correct. I do.
Nice.
I do.
My man. Let's move on. I like it.
Yeah.
Before you say something to ruin it, let's move on.
So that's the AFC. One more time, I wanted to mention his name. He's done a great job with the Colts. Chris Ballard, GM, new GM for the Colts. Chris Ballard, phenomenal job with the team.
Let's talk about Rick as a coach too. And amazing
Frank
stuff.
Also, and Frank Reich also. Frank Reich did a phenomenal job. I mean, look, Coach of the Year.
I keep calling him Rick instead of Wright. I don't know why I do that, but anyway.
I know him Reich since Buffalo, since he was playing Buffalo. So just saying.
So big.
I don't know, but yeah, he should get definitely at the very least runner-up Coach of the Year behind Matt Nagy. If anything.
Perhaps Indy can have the New Kids on the Block tour there and tell them that they've got the right stuff.
Oh, I like that. All right, moving on. Okay, NFC side. Let's go to the Saturday game. Cowboys Rams. A lot of Cowboy fans at that game, by the way. Which we all said that's going to happen. I even said that. Don't be surprised with 60-40 Cowboy fans there, because a lot of Cowboy fans in LA, in Los Angeles anyway. They travel well, whatever, and yet the Rams still won the game. Doesn't matter. The Rams won the game.
You know what drives me nuts about Cowboy fans in general, and it's not as bad as Patriot fans by any stretch of the imagination. I find you barely tolerable as a Patriots fan yourself, but the punchline.
Here we go again.
I had to get my quota.
It's great though. It's great for radio though. I like it.
But the punchline is, how can you be so arrogant to think that Jason Garrett is going to top Sean McVay in a matchup after their prospective or respective rather playoff records? I get it. McVay was 0 for 1 going into this game, a vast resume of failure. That's a joke. Garrett has won one playoff game. In how many tries? I don't know. 1 or 2, maybe 2.
2 games. Maybe it's 2 games. I know he won one. I know he won one back in 15, and he won one back in. I want to say, was that Wade Phillips' game win? No, was that the one against the Eagles back in 11? Was that Wade Phillips? Was that Garrett?
I don't believe that was Jason Garrett. No.
Okay. You could be right then. Moving on.
So, but the punchline is like. You're gonna try to tell me that Jason Garrett is like gonna beat Sean McVay in a coaching chess match? What's he gonna do? Clap to distract him and get his attention? Is that what? Stop it!
Adorable, right? No, it's so adorable, isn't it?
Yeah, seriously. And listen, I didn't expect the Rams to have 200-yard ground gainers, but apparently they did. Okay, super. This is.
I saw C.J. Anderson. And I assumed that was the second coming of Mr. Craig Ironhead Hayward back in the day. Remember Ironhead back in the day?
I do. I don't know that Anderson's quite big enough to be Ironhead.
No, he's not. But that's the point. The guy's 5'8", 225, and the guy's like a truck. Like what the This is the same C.J. Anderson we saw a couple years ago in Denver? No way.
Well, I was about to say, everybody's talking about how C.J. Anderson's a stiff and he's a surprise. Y'all mother beep done forgot that he won a Super Bowl already, right? That was a thing.
Yeah. But he looks bigger. Like, he looks whiter and bigger. I mean, it's insane. I had to do a double take. Like, that's the same guy.
So, in any case, what I can tell you is if they come out like that next week, they're going to be a tough out. And moreover, with either AFC team in the Super Bowl, they're going to have problems. You know, you stuff the box and dare Goff to throw. That's not exactly a comforting concept. And, you're going to stuff the box, but act like, McVay won't come up with some fancy blocking scheme to make you look stupid? Stop it. Man, the Rams are an enigma. And I know that their defense is bad. The instant that Hakeem Talib left the field, they give up a big touchdown. Yeah, that's a problem, But by, a day's end, the Rams defense up front is good enough to make you make enough mistakes to where if you have limited attempts on offense, it's a problem.
Right. That running game was just insane. On Saturday, insane. Was it 225 yards, 230 yards rushing?
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, and I really didn't feel like it was gimmicky. Like, it wasn't the kind of stuff where, the Patriots came out using a fullback against the Chargers, for goodness sake. And part of the reason why the Chargers lost was they're like, what is this fullback that you speak of?
Anyway, but that Rams running game, sickening. I was at 230 yards at the end. It was sickening. Like, they were just gashing that Dallas. And, by the way, a great Dallas defense to the record. Just gashing them.
Right, number 3 against the run, and it just didn't matter.
Yeah. And him and Gurley. And by the way, Todd Gurley being hurt end of the year. If C. Anderson, and by the way, he was doing this at the end of the year too. Apparently, I didn't watch any Rams games, but if this is going to be the formula moving forward for the Rams, they might win it all. Because this is how you win championships. This is how you win championships right here.
You have an angry defensive line that can attack the quarterback. You have a run game that can control the clock and offense. You just got to make sure you finish on one of the two sides.
Yeah, and I thought Jared Goff looked great. I thought he picked this point when he had a chance to throw the ball, play action, and just make plays, big throw down conversions. He did his job. I mean, Jared Goff had a phenomenal. When I say phenomenal, I mean in terms of the game plan.
A number of huge drops by his receivers, though. I mean, looking at the stat line, he should have had at least 2 more touchdowns.
Yeah. I mean, he had a great game. I thought he did very well, much better than last year's playoff debut when they lost to the fraud cons, we call them, the Atlanta Falcons. But yeah, I think if this is the formula moving forward for the Rams, Todd Gurley, C.J. Anderson, 1-2 combo, they're beating New Orleans next week. I don't care what it says. They're beating New Orleans. If I'm not predicting that right now. I'm going to have my predictions later in the week on this podcast. But if this is the formula going forward, they're beating. They're going to beat the Saints next week in the NFC title game. That's simple.
Well, and then let's add to that, making another awesome segue by you, the fact that they lost a defensive tackle in Sheldon Rankins. That's a big deal, and it doesn't make it look any good when you're about to play a 2-headed monster like that on the ground.
Right. Let's close out the Cowboys of the year real quick. If you're a Cowboy fan, are you encouraged moving forward? Because Dak played better. He got a weapon in Amari Cooper, who played well down the stretch. The Cowboys were 1-3-5. They finished 10-6, won the division, won a playoff game. Dak had his moments, of course. If you're a Cowboys fan, I mean, are you encouraged going forward?
You certainly have the most. You certainly have the most stability right now in that division, don't you? I mean, let's put that to understanding. You're going to have another situation with a quarterback controversy in Philly. The Redskins. Well, they're the bleeping Redskins. The Giants are in a situation where, they got Saquon, but what's going to happen? I mean, Eli is diminishing fast, and then what? And then Odell Beckham Jr. still, kicking and screaming whatever he can. They are the most stable team in the division, which really is still, you can tell I'm having a lot of trouble even saying that out loud.
Yeah, because Philly, I mean, they had a quarterback situation, but I mean, if you were to just if you're a betting man, of course, which I am, Wentz is the guy moving forward still.
Oh, of course. Well, I mean, I'll tell you what. We'll crack this open now. And you remember me teasing last week about Matt Schaub. This needs to be what I would refer to as a Matt Schaub situation. Do you remember how Matt Schaub got his career started, essentially, how he broke out?
I remember when Vic got hurt a lot towards the end of his tenure in Atlanta, and Schaub got a lot. Schaub actually made a lot of headway there. Got a big contract in Houston. Had a decent couple years. Fantasy football owners loved him because he's a stat stuffer. But I said back in 2009 or 8 where no, Schaub's not a good quarterback. Schaub is just a stat stuffer. Look in the context. He's not. There's a lot of fool's gold there, and sure enough, that it came to roost.
Well, he's a good quarterback. He's not a great quarterback, and I know towards the end of his career he really struggled with sixes and all that.
When he fell, he fell hard though. When he fell hard. It wasn't.
I thought that was hyperbolic to the quarterback that we had at one point. Not to mention, it was in Houston. The lack of protection was a thing. Hell, he could be argued that he's the quarterback that got them to the playoffs first, even though it was T.J. Yates that won them their first playoff game after both Schaub and Matt Leinart got hurt.
The pastor T.D. Jakes, you said? The pastor T.D. Jakes?
Say again?
You said T.J. Yates. I was like, T.D. Jakes, the pastor? I was just joking, though.
Oh, yeah, that too. Wow. You tried really hard for that weak stuff.
No, I've been doing that for years. Anyway. No, I mean, maybe you don't know who he is. I don't know. I mean, I've been doing that for years.
Listen, try not to hurt yourself. You have 2 kids. Anyway.
Oh, come on. That was pretty good.
No, but to bring it all back, though, I feel like that's the approach they need to take with Foles. They cannot afford to go on with Wentz, as they should, without a reliable backup. And, folks, Nick Foles has proven that he is, in fact, that. Now, Eagles Santa. Like last time, and give them the best possible deal that makes sense. And then when they get outbid, them's the breaks. But I got a feeling that they may not get outbid if they come out with a good number. They're not gonna don't break the bank for them or anything stupid like that. Offer a good number for a backup because that's still what he is. And I think part of him likes that role. They may be able to retain him.
And I think also, too, I think Nick Foles showed in these 2 years that the value of a backup quarterback now is a lot bigger than people give it credit for. So that extra cap room now, that's, salary cap increase now, don't be surprised if teams start investing in paying more for backup quarterbacks just to make sure that they, in the event. No, look, it's happened twice now to the Eagles, where their star quarterback has gone down in crunch time in the end of the year, and their backup has pretty much came back and, hey, won a Super Bowl one year and won a playoff game the next year.
Right, absolutely. So, it's one of those things that's important. I obviously, but I don't know if there's a team out there that would try the Nick Foles as a starter experiment again. I don't know who that would be.
Somebody will do it because there's too much jobs open out there that's worth trying investing in. Maybe the Dolphins will if they don't pick up Tannehill's contract.
Well, here's I don't know. Well, yeah, I mean Tannehill's contract is a thing, as is Blake Bortles. But I think Foles in either one of those locations is intriguing, but it'll just end up in a situation where you're complaining about him just like you would about a Tannehill or a Bortles because you forgot how, air quotes, bad they were.
That's true. Okay, let's get to the final game of the weekend, Saints-Eagles. Saints come back from a 14-0 deficit, win the game 20-14. They advance to the conference championship game next week at home against the Rams. I
truly hope you took my advice on this game as the degenerate you are in betting the Eagles as the Saints win.
Well, apparently you don't pay attention to my bets because I post them every weekend on social media for all to see.
I saw you put that on Facebook.
Yes, I went 0 Saturday, but unbeaten on Sunday. You do the math there.
So that means you actually listened.
Yes,
I'm so proud of you.
I did.
You actually picked the Colts to win. Don't you feel like a Colts?
No, anyway. Colts on the points. On the points.
point this. Anyways, no, listen, joking aside, I mean, the only one I would have gotten wrong outright is the Patriots game. I just did not expect that kind of a spanking.
I got that one right, though. I got that one right.
Yeah, no, that one you did. I mean, you had to bet with your team, and I get it. So
I'm like just giving you. Am I giving you free ammunition now just to pew 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 pew. Well, that's a dinner time joke for the record. But
yes. Another podcast you need to listen to is the dinner time.
Yeah, tell your boy put on iTunes.
Nice. Yeah, no, but listen, man, I really like what the Eagles came out with, but it was all heart and spirit. Let's be honest. That opening interception, the pass was there. Breeze short-armed it. He underthrew that ball. That should have been a touchdown. But hey, listen, credit for the interception. And the Saints offense became multidimensional. Some good things were done. The defense came into play. I'm most concerned about their the middle of their line and trying to contain the run. Against the Rams and the Patriots, frankly, if they finally get past them.
Mm-hmm. That's why I lost you now. Come on now.
That they had to deal with the Minnesota trash that they did last year. But yeah.
I thought the Saints showed a lot this game, even though they were down 14-0. They showed they didn't panic. I love it. See, Sean Payton is the right guy for this job for one reason. He knows the temperature of the room. He knew he had to be aggressive in going for a fourth down in that second quarter multiple times and faking a punt and things like that. He had to, and he know that's why I always respect Sean Payton, because he knows the temperature of the room. He knew that if the Saints don't convert those plays, the Eagles are going to probably. He thinks the Eagles are probably going to end up winning this game. And he's probably right. And I believe the aggressiveness of him early in that game is what led the Saints to feel confident to come back in that game, in my opinion.
Yeah, and listen, while I may not have personally called that fake punt, I mean, it was a good call. It certainly surprised me. I wasn't prepared for it. And, it got,
you were surprised with
that?
You were surprised with that, actually? I'm surprised you were surprised.
Given
his history, of course.
Is that what they surprised me with was coming out with the punt team at all. I'm like, really? You're not gonna? Oh, okay.
Oh, right.
Oh, wait,
yeah,
what's the thing? Gotcha.
Because he's known for I mean, he did in the Super Bowl crowd, fake field goal. Not fake field goal. I'm sorry.
And the onside kick didn't work. His team just got lucky. That ball hit a Colts player right in the chest. And
but that's the idea of doing that, though. But that's the idea of saying I'm going to do that in that spot, in that game, in that moment. And I mean, that's like I got bigger balls than you do, And that's how Sean Payton coaches. Really, to be honest with you, I gotta respect it. There's a bit of arrogance there. Believe me, it's a bit of arrogance. I agree. He's a bit arrogant, and there's a bit of arrogance there. But you have to kind of have a little bit of that to succeed in this.
Let's put it this way: I appreciate the Sean Payton that won against the Vikings to get to the Super Bowl more than the Sean Payton that made that call that did the onside kick. Now, granted, there was some Bounty Gate stuff involved with Greg Williams, which I certainly don't support that. I'm severely just happy about the fact that he currently doesn't have it, and he shouldn't have afterward either. I don't see what as much as I've said that Jeff Fisher gets way too much flack, he should be getting more flack about rehiring Greg Williams.
I did see your thread the other day, yesterday, about Jeff Fisher. I think you got into it with somebody on Facebook. That was kind of fun.
Yeah, and then he also tried to tell me that Trubisky was better than Garoppolo, so you know how credible that source is.
Yeah, he's got to stop that. Mr. Controversy himself, you got to stop that. I don't agree with that. You can make it
go that far.
Yeah, you can make a point maybe next year, but not right now. No, that's not even that's not even a conversation. I mean, seriously, not a conversation yet. Philly, we touched a little while ago with Philly though. Really, they're only because we say it's a controversy, a quarterback, but is there really one? No, I don't think so.
Well, no, the controversy is the wrong word, but they darn sure have a decision and a situation to make, and they have to address Nick Foles. Is it a controversy? No, they're not. Listen, unless they're that worried about their salary cap, and the fact that Wentz can't stay on the field, If they're declaring Wentz the next Sam Bradford, that's one thing. I'm not prepared to do that, obviously. But if they do, then they should keep Foles. But I don't think they feel that way.
Right. I think that I think Wentz will win that battle no matter what you slice it. And I think Nick Foles will be a rich man somewhere else. That's how this will play out. Period. In discussion. So
I think he'll be a plenty rich man in Philadelphia. Honestly, part of me thinks he likes that role and wants to keep it.
It's very possible. And I you know, it's funny. I would respect him for if he did that. Not saying he should do that, but saying that should be a lot of respect. You know, a lot of respect. So, this is that. Quick feeling on next week's games. Obviously AFC, NFC title games next week for the right to go to the Super Bowl. First, I guess prediction. You want to go right ahead. I mean, I don't have any predictions just yet for the games. But quickly, first on the NFC side, Rams, Saints. How do you feel about this game?
You know, I feel like this is a game that was regular season, but will be lopsided. It's hard for me to pick which game will win, but it's odd in that whichever team will win, I feel like will win by a lot. You know,
wait. You can see the Rams winning big on the road in the Superdome.
I do.
Wow,
I can.
That'd be shocking. I mean, honestly, that'd be very shocking considering the home field advantage and whatnot. I mean, they were loud yesterday against Philly. They're gonna be 10 times louder this week.
Can you really rule it out though? Let's think this through. Okay, Sheldon Rankins is out. They're starting defensive tackle. Okay, they're gonna be in a position where they may be able to run the ball for. I certainly cannot rule out another 100-yard rushers in this game. And if Breeze comes out short-arming balls again for turnovers,
I'm surprised. You think that
you can't tell me I'm wrong. You can't tell me I'm wrong with that take, man. That's I can't rule out the Rams winning big. Just like I can't rule out, you know, Breeze throwing a few long balls in there while they set up the Rams defense with Kamara. You know,
I'm always surprised because of the nature of where the game's being played. You know. Obviously, the Superdome is a major home field advantage. You rarely ever see a Saints get blown out at home unless it's like they actually are a bad team, and even then, it's still kind of rare. That being said, I can't see the Rams win this game. In fact, if you ask me right now on Monday before my picks show, I do like my picks on Thursday or Friday, whenever the hell I do my podcast for the picks. I would lean the Rams in a closer game though.
Well, considering the fact that I preview the games on Blue HQ Media's Sports Media Pass, I don't want to give away my picks before I write the article. That would just be stupid.
So you won't tell all listeners who's going to win the game? Really?
Say again?
You're not going to tell listeners you won't tell all listeners who win the game? Come on! Tell all listeners!
What? No, seriously, you're talking like you're a star of the show Gilmore Girls. You're like, rah, 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 rah.
Hey, that's a good show, though. That's a good show. No,
I'm not even touching that. I'm not even. No, you need to move on before I just judge you even more harshly than I do every week.
The Gilmore Girls is it's a great show. It's a great show.
So I'll just ask one.
What are you doing?
I won't get into anything. It's 2019, and I can't get into anything like questioning your manhood without dealing with some SJW blowbacks. So I'll ask you this. How on earth do you understand anybody on that show with as fast as they talk? Seriously.
Let me defend that show.
How on earth do you understand them?
Can I defend that show just real quick? Because I once thought that way, too. That show is brilliantly written, number one. Okay? It's shocking, yes, but it's a really well-written show.
Listen, a tiger's tears may be gold. They may help me spin lead into gold. I'll never know because I can never slay a tiger to find out. That show may be well written, but they talk so fast. How would I ever find out?
Well, I'll tell you what, you can judge me for a lot of things. I will say this one. What I was saying was tell our listeners your prediction, but you don't want to say anything this yet. But I will say this much.
Tell your listeners the prediction. To be honest, I haven't formulated it yet because I haven't written the article. My inclination is to say Rams, but I have to do a little bit more analysis before I submit that.
I'm there too. I find the other game harder to pick because New England's New England. You know, they just do what they do. But the Chiefs have all the elements here. They have the home field advantage.
It's going to be the same as the previous game. It's whoever has the ball last, and if they score with it on the last possession.
I don't think this game goes the same way back in October. I don't think it goes that same way. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think they'll be, in comparison to the last game, because that game was 43-40. This game I could see going maybe 24-20, something in that range, maybe even 20-17 type. You know what I mean? I think it's gonna be a lot lower scoring game than it was the first time. I think the Pats are gonna try to their goal is to keep Mahomes off the field. They're gonna cut positions down. So I think because of that alone, because of their game plan, I think that it'll keep the scoring a lot lower than it was back in October. That being said,
I got 35-32.
Holy crap! Really?
Yeah.
Do you have a winner for this game?
I mean, as much as it pains me,
the Patriots.
It scars me already. Like, I made the mistake already of picking against, Belichick and Brady, and I don't trust in Mahomes that much yet. I feel like Belichick has something in his laboratory ready for Mahomes, and we don't know what it is yet. How can Andy Reid prepare for something that hasn't been concocted yet? We all know how to stop Brady. You get in his face, you get him whining, and you demoralize him, which is a very difficult thing to do, obviously.
Yeah.
You don't sit back and wait like the Chargers did.
I'll tell you this much, man. If Mahomes wins this game, this definitely adds more. I imagine you'll definitely earn your trust more winning this game in this spot.
Oh, of course. Yeah, and listen, he's already a great quarterback. All it does is put me in a place where I am less likely to think he'll have a sophomore slump.
The cop out here for me might be taking the over/under this game. I don't lean the. I gotta see the numbers real quick, but I cannot. I don't have a pick right now in this game. I'm not even sure I'll have a pick on Friday when I do my picks.
Here's what I'll tell you. If the number is 55 or lower, bet the over.
Okay. Well, I took advice once and it worked, so maybe I'll do it again. We'll see what happens.
Or you won't listen, and then I'll have another thing to make fun of you for on this show.
Like you need a fucking reason to make fun of me. Like you do it anyway.
Well, true. That's true. But
exactly.
The only way that America loses on this show this week is not once have I brought up Russell Chamomile Wilson. Not a single time.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's we did one today. We did today. Before I let you go, since our last podcast, Adam Gase got hired by the Jets. Your thoughts?
A lot of people are talking smack on that hire. You're dumb. I think Gase is a fit. I think people want to say it's no better than hiring Todd Bowles. And particularly, local mainstream media here in Orlando. And listen, as much as I know the guy that said it, I can officially claim that now. I've had spirits with him in Arizona. I think he's spot wrong. Todd Bowles is a defensive guy, and Gase is not. It'll be very interesting to see what Gase's imprint would be to improve Sam Darnold. Hell, he got Brock Osweiler to produce. Give me a break.
That's true. And also did play pretty well in the couple games he played in Miami this year too. All considering. The Dolphins are expected to hire Brian Flores, who's the Patriots assistant. Any thoughts there?
I'm not really thrilled that they went with a defensive guy. But that being said, the fact that the rumors are that Jim Bob Cooter, a.k.a. Jim Caldwell, is going to come in to be their offensive coordinator could neutralize that. It could be a situation where you have kind of a reverse/poor man's version of McVay and Wade Phillips. You're bringing in a guy that's a newer coach that could bring something for the team on defense to be more creative, because goodness knows they need it. Not to mention some draft picks to fill some certain gaps. But also, if the guy's Flores' focus is on defense, to bring in a guy that handles the offensive side like Caldwell could, it could make for a good combination. And it could be just in time on a place where the Patriots are in the downturn here sooner than later. They might be good next year. They might be good in 2020. I have no reason to believe in 2021 they'll be a factor. And if, Flores can make it 2 years, he might have an opportunity to take that division over.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go. April 14th. Exactly 3 months from today. You know it, right?
April 14th. 2 months from today.
3 months from today. Let's come back on 3 months from today. Oh boy.
It's not basketball.
No, you didn't see it. You didn't see it. Okay, you didn't see
Game
it.
of Thrones.
There we go.
Obviously.
They just announced it today. Last night, rather.
I didn't see the announcement. I could have figured it out by the basics from the time. I have to be honest. I haven't seen the announcement yet. So I'll give you that much credit.
People keep telling me you need to rewatch it before you watch it again. I'm not rewatching it. I watched The Sopranos and The Wire. Sorry.
I did rewatch season 7.
Already?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a really short season, and it's really that season. It's hard to put it down when you get going with the plan to binge it. When you start, you're going to hit 2 or 3 episodes per go, and that means in more than one, like in 3 sittings, you're done.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The battle scene is still foremost of anything in Game of Thrones during that season.
I may probably a week before the show comes back, or 2 weeks before the show comes back, maybe rewatch the season again. It's not that long anyway. Not like I couldn't get through it in a week or so. If you make time for it, of course. But my focus this year is I am trying to catch up on shows I'm behind on. So The Sopranos, its 20th anniversary is this year. I've watched that show 3 times, never finished it. So I'm actually dedicating this month to finishing The Sopranos finally. Okay, The Wire, same show. I've watched that multiple times, never finished it. So I'm gonna make sure I get that done this year. I'm behind a couple of shows I watch personally. The Ray Donovans in the world, and other shows like that. Atlanta, just name a few. So I got a lot working on this year.
Yeah, no, I've been hitting Black Mirror. That's been my thing.
And that's on the list also too. Once I finish the shows I'm behind on, I'll attack new shows. That's what I'm gonna do. No more new shows till I finish the ones I'm behind on. How about them apples, Kyle?
Hey man, listen. I just want you to be in a place where you can try to tell me how on earth the Giants are going to get a good quarterback.
Well, supposedly that Ohio State guy, quarterback, is supposed to be a Giant fan. Wants to go to New York. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. All right, Kyle. It was fun as always. Plug away. You know how we do it.
Honor, joy, privilege, man. Hey, listen. First of all, if you haven't yet, check out the episodes you're on Dinner Time, man. Those turned out real damn nice. Just so you're aware, Default Assault explores the concept of the Oscars without a host. Check that episode out. And that got really silly really fast because it's a really silly concept. And of course, check out my writings on sportsmediapass.com, a product of Blue HQ Media. And I'm going to be writing, not this week, but the following week on the Dolphins Wire. I am actually headed to cover the Shrine game this week. And as I watch that game, I'm going to be perusing that for players that the Dolphins should target. Check that out on Monday on DolphinsWire.com of USA Today. Yeah,
busy guy. Hey, Kyle, you're a busy guy.
It's hard work being famous. I'm going to go to a few events surrounding the Pro Bowl too. Look out! But
hey,
you know what? You know who's always a Pro Bowler in my mind? You, Ernest J. Christian, for understanding your flaws and still coming on your show to take your licks from me every week.
Oh, stop the bullshit.
Class dismissed.